Hi, this video is going to walk you through creating time records from notes in OnTarget. When you are generating billing from clinical notes, this is the first step in the billing process. To begin, you will go to the Notes desktop. It is recommended to first review the records that are eligible for billing. By selecting Eligible Approved Notes at the Supervisor Billing Approval filter and No in the Imported to Billing filter, you can restrict the grid view to notes that have been approved and have never been imported into the billing module. Click on Search to display the notes that are eligible for billing. You can set any other filters as needed to further restrict the notes and control what you are billing. Maybe drilling down to a particular service, a caregiver, a supervisor, cost center, client, and so on. Generally speaking, the idea is that you want to create time records, which are your billable records, from all notes that are approved and have never been billed. This process is simply taking the notes and sending them to the billing module, where further evaluation can be provided. You have additional steps that will allow you to control what billing actually gets submitted from these notes and when. This is simply taking the notes that are completed and in an approved state and sending them to the billing module. If this is the first time that you are creating records from notes, it is recommended that you create a new view. The view will allow you to save the filters so that you don't have to set them every time you want to run the desired search. The common filters for this routine process are to search for approved notes and anything that has not yet been imported to billing. In order to save yourself the steps of setting those filters every time you come to bill, saving the view is a quick shortcut. Leave New View check since this is the first time you're creating the view and give it a name. Once the view is saved, you may pull it up from any time in the drop-down to retrieve the saved filters. Keep in mind that you can also rearrange the order of the columns by dragging and dropping the columns as needed. And you can also remove columns that you don't find necessary, especially for a view. Regardless of how many views you set up and save, you can always restore to the system default, which will clear out any filters and restore the default columns. With the appropriate filters now set, you are ready to create time records from your notes. You have two options. You can either create time records for all notes displayed in this grid, or the other option is to individually select notes that you'd like to send to billing. After making your selections, choose the From Selected. You may or may not be presented with validations once the processing has completed. In this case, validations have been presented, and we must decide whether to override the validations and continue processing, or if we aren't ready to bill these notes until we clear up the error. In this case, the client has expired consents and the employee is missing certifications. If these would be problematic errors in billing, I may choose to leave these notes here, fix the problem, and then re-import when the information is updated. If I choose to override them and send to billing, select all or select each one that you want to override, and then click the Override button. You will be left with the notes that did not import into billing or the ones that you chose not to import. It is important to note that your security settings dictate whether or not you have the override capabilities. as well as whether or not certain validations run for your login. This is all handled in Configure Roles for each individual role. Each validation can be controlled as to whether or not you enforce the rule and who has the ability to override. Preventing the override prevents the note from getting to billing until the issue has been resolved. As a final step, it is best practice to understand the notes that didn't get imported because they are incomplete, either not signed by the caregiver or not approved by the supervisor. Flip the supervisor billing approval filter to unapproved notes. There are quite a few of unapproved notes. Therefore, billing cannot occur until the note gets approved. You can further filter down to understand if the caregiver of the note has done their job by signing the note. Evaluating the number of unsigned notes versus signed notes will help you understand where to push within your agency. This data can be exported so that the data can be dropped into Excel for further filtering options or to be distributed to the interested parties, such as the caregiver and the supervisors. This is important to manage in order to ensure that all billing is submitted in timely manners. Internal deadlines for note signing and approving should be set and managed properly. The next step in the billing process is outlined in the time records videos. Should you have any questions about creating time records from notes, please contact support by going to Options, Support, and Contact Support.